Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel. And let me tell you guys, I am absolutely exhausted today. Just chugging my third iced coffee and staring at these episode notes from March 24. My fingers are flying across the keyboard because I just have to get this out to you right now. It is raw. It is messy. But the drama on The Bold and the Beautiful right now is just off the charts. So bear with me if I ramble a bit or if my sentences run together because my brain is just moving a million miles a minute right now. And honestly, there is so much to unpack here. I mean, where do we even begin? Let's just dive right into the deep end. So we have to talk about the Cliff House. My house? Well, Steffi's house, but you know what I mean. Steffi Forrester and John Finnegan. Sin. They are finally getting a break. They are so excited about going on this overnight trip with the kids, taking Hayes and Kelly away for a little family bonding time, which is so sweet and so needed after all the drama with the Logans and the Forresters and the fashion shows. But of course, in the soap world, when the cat is away, the mice will play. And by mice, I mean Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp, because Shin's absence provides the absolute perfect opportunity for a romantic tryst. And it is just so wild to me. Steffi has been screaming from the rooftops, literally threatening her own mother, telling Taylor that if she doesn't cut ties with Deacon, she is going to be banned from the family, banned from the kids. But Taylor just cannot help herself. It's like a sickness. And so Deacon, he decides to play with fire in the absolute worst way possible. He lies to his wife. He looks Sheila Carter Sharp in the eye and tells her he is heading out of town on a business trip. A business trip? Like, what kind of business is the owner of Il Giardino doing overnight out of town, sourcing tomatoes? It is such a flimsy lie, but he thinks he got away with it. He thinks he is so slick. So he heads straight over to the Cliff House, to Steffi's house, the very place where Sheila shot Steffi and Finn. The disrespect is just staggering when you really think about the history there. But Taylor doesn't care. Taylor is just completely consumed by her passionate desires. Her logic is gone. Her ability to recognize risk is just out the window. So the preview shows them on her bed, and Taylor is wearing only a bra and panties, just completely stripped down and ready to hit the sheets. And they are going to make love for the first time, right there in her daughter's home. It is so messy, so clunky and awkward, and just pure soap opera gold. I fought this as hard as I could, but nothing is going to keep us apart, Deacon says. And they just start making out, rolling around, thinking they are in this safe little bubble, but they are so wrong. Because Sheila, oh my God, Sheila, she decides to go over to the Cliff House to see Taylor. Why? Because she wants to thank her again. Sheila is always so obsessed with the people who she thinks are helping her. She brings a bouquet of flowers, just walking up to the door like a normal neighbor, but the door is locked. So what does Sheila do? She doesn't just leave the flowers on the mat and walk away. No, she peers in the window, and what she sees is going to change everything. She looks through that glass and she sees her husband, her Deacon, the man who she thought was her rock, making love to Taylor Hayes. A shocked Sheila is just watching them through the window, and you have to wonder what is going through her head in that exact moment. The betrayal, the rage, the absolute psychotic break that is probably happening behind her eyes right then and there. Is she going to confront them? Is she going to smash the window, or is she going to play the long game? Because a smart Sheila is a dangerous Sheila. If she keeps this to herself, she could use it to completely destroy Deacon and take over Il Giardino and everything he has built. But knowing Sheila, she might just snap. Just seeing Taylor in her bra and panties with Deacon's hands all over her, it is an unpleasant surprise, to say the least. And I just keep thinking about the fallout. Steffi is going to lose her mind. If Steffi finds out that Taylor brought Deacon into her home, where her children sleep, Steffi's going to enforce that family ban so fast Taylor's head will spin. It is going to be nuclear. But let's shift gears because there is so much more happening. Because over at Forrester Creations, things are just as toxic and insane. We have to talk about Ivy Forrester. Ivy is just out of control right now. She is playing God with these young kids' lives, and she doesn't even care. So Melissa Dillon, the new receptionist who Steffi just hired, Dillon overhears Ivy and Daphne talking, and Dillon finally confronts Ivy. She grills her. She just straight up asks Ivy about breaking up Elektra and Will Spencer. And you would think Ivy would be defensive or try to hide it. But no, Ivy has no trouble admitting it. None at all. In this leaked spoiler video, Ivy just looks at Dillon and owns it. She says she did it to protect her niece, and I would do it all over again, she says. Because broken hearts mend. Just so cold, so calculated. Ivy truly believes she is the hero of this story. She thinks Will is bad news and that Elektra belongs with someone better. Someone like RJ Forrester. And Dillon is just standing there, probably sweating, because Dillon knows she holds all the cards right now. Dillon could blow this whole thing wide open. She could run to Will and tell him that Ivy stole Elektra's letter. That Ivy put the broken necklace on Elektra's desk. But Dillon is poor. Dillon was washing dishes at Il Giardino. Dillon needs this job that Steffi gave her. And Dillon also kind of wants Will for herself. So Dillon asks Ivy if she orchestrated the kiss between RJ and Elektra. Because Dillon knows Will saw them kiss. And Ivy is just so smug. She tells Dillon that she didn't make Elektra kiss him, which is technically true. But she adds that she has a feeling it won't be the last time her niece kisses that remarkable young man. Ivy is just steering the ship and watching it crash. And she is loving every second of it. It's so frustrating to watch, but also you can't look away. And Ivy isn't just sitting back. She is actively stalking them because Elektra and RJ are having this romantic dinner together at the Forrester estate. Just the two of them. RJ invited her over for a private meal, and it is going really well. They are connecting. RJ is being all sweet and supportive. And then they go for a swim afterward. A moonlight swim in the pool, just splashing around and flirting. And who is lurking in the shadows? Ivy Forrester, just creeping around the bushes, spying on them. And Ivy's prediction comes true because Elektra and RJ share another smooch right there by the pool. The water is glistening. The tension is high. And they kiss. And Ivy is right there with her phone. She takes a photo of the couple, snap, got it. And rumor has it she shares it to social media. She posts it online for the whole world to see. But more importantly, for Will to see. Ivy is making sure that the final nail is hammered into the coffin of Will and Elektra's relationship. It is so devious. It is giving me old school soap villain vibes, and I am here for it. But poor Elektra has no idea her own aunt is manipulating her entire life. And speaking of Will and Elektra, they are going to have an emotional conversation sometime amid all this chaos, probably before Will sees the photo. Will is trying to get through to her. He wants to explain things, but Elektra is just so hurt. She thinks Will ignored her heartfelt letter, but he never got it. Ivy stole it, and Will thinks Elektra just threw his broken necklace back at him. But Ivy planted it. They are both operating on completely false information, and they are just talking in circles, crying, yelling, just so much emotional baggage. And the tragedy is that they actually love each other, but the interference is just too much. And once Will sees that photo of Elektra and RJ kissing by the pool, it is going to be over. Will is going to turn right around and probably take Dillon to bed because he is just going to want to numb the pain. And Dillon is right there waiting, keeping Ivy's dirty little secret. And it just makes my stomach churn thinking about how Dillon is compromising her morals. because Electra has been so awful to Dylan, screaming at her in the showroom, demanding. She quit her job, telling her she has some nerve. So part of me understands why Dylan is keeping her mouth shut. Why should Dylan help the girl who is actively trying to ruin her new career? But at the same time, Will doesn't deserve this. Will is just a pawn in Ivy's sick little game. But wait, there is even more. Because while all this romantic sabotage is happening, we have Daphne Walton and Carter Walton just trying to be a normal married couple. They are going to discuss their future. And it is getting heavy because Daphne and Carter really want to make a baby. They have been hitting the sheets and trying to conceive, but it is not happening as fast as they wanted. And there are all these hints about infertility problems looming, which is just heartbreaking for Carter because he has wanted a family for so long. And Daphne is carrying so much stress, not just about the baby making, but because she knows Ivy's secret too. Daphne watched Ivy steal that letter. Daphne knows the truth, and she is just bottling it up. Sitting in bed with Carter, supposed to be focusing on romance and their future. But her mind is racing, and Carter is so intuitive. He is going to sense that his wife is brooding. He is going to push her to be honest. And if Daphne spills the beans to Carter about Ivy manipulating Will and Electra, Carter is going to flip. Carter is a man of principle. He is not going to stand by and let Will be manipulated like that. So Daphne is really caught between a rock and a hard place. She doesn't want to cross Ivy Forrester, but she doesn't want to lie to her husband either. It is just a massive emotional burden on top of the fertility struggles. And speaking of emotional burdens, let's talk about Hope Spencer. Hope is going to open up to Liam Spencer about her father. Yes, Deacon Sharp. Hope is just pouring her heart out to Liam, talking about Deacon and how he is trying to be a better man, how he is running Il Giardino and trying to be a good husband to Sheila. And the dramatic irony is just dripping from the screen. Because while Hope is sitting there defending her dad and talking about his growth, Deacon is literally stripped down in Taylor Hayes' bed, cheating on his wife. It is just classic soap opera timing. Hope is always so quick to see the good in Deacon. She wants to believe he has changed. And Liam is probably just sitting there listening, maybe nodding. But Liam knows Deacon is always going to be Deacon. And when this affair with Taylor blows up, and it will blow up, because Sheila is standing right outside that window, Hope is going to be devastated. Again, her father just cannot stop sabotaging his own life. And I just have to go back to that window scene for a second, because my fingers are literally cramping, but I can't stop thinking about Sheila's face. Sheila Carter is a survivor. She is a predator. When she looks through that glass and sees Taylor, the woman who she has hated for decades, the woman who she has fought with over Ridge, over everything, seeing Taylor with her husband, it is going to trigger something deep and dark inside Sheila. Will she just walk away and plot her revenge in secret? Maybe she will go to Il Giardino and start draining the bank accounts. Or maybe she will go to Steffi. Imagine if Sheila goes to Steffi and tells her that Taylor is sleeping with Deacon in her house. Steffi would absolutely explode. Or maybe Sheila will just break the glass. Just take a rock and smash the window right while they are in the middle of making love. The shock, the screaming, Deacon scrambling to find his pants, Taylor trying to cover up with a blanket. It would be cinema, absolute cinema. But the spoilers say Sheila is watching them and asking, will she confront them? I feel like she might not do it right away. I feel like she might just stand there in the dark, letting the anger fester, because Sheila is nothing if not patient when it comes to revenge. She will want to hurt Taylor in the most painful way possible. And what about Deacon's excuse, the business trip? When he comes home to Sheila, how is he going to act? Is he going to bring her a souvenir? Hey, honey, sorry I missed you. Here is a snow globe from my fake business trip. And Sheila will just look at him, knowing exactly where he was and who he was inside. The psychological warfare is going to be incredible. Deacon is going to be sweating bullets every time Sheila looks at him sideways. And then there is the whole Logan versus Forrester fashion war happening in the background. But honestly, who even cares about the clothes right now when there is so much flesh and betrayal on the screen? But I have to mention it because it all ties together. Will is fighting with RJ over the fashion house stuff. Will is accusing the Forresters. RJ is defending his family. And it all just adds to the tension between them over Elektra. Will and RJ are already ready to rip each other's heads off over the stolen designs. So when Will sees that photo of RJ kissing his girl, it is going to be a physical fight. I can feel it. And Ivy is just sitting in the Forrester mansion, probably sipping a martini, swiping through social media and watching the likes roll in on that photo. She is so arrogant. Broken hearts mend, she says. But what happens when Elektra finds out that her aunt orchestrated this entire heartbreak? Elektra is already so fragile. She is unhinged. She is screaming at Dylan in the showroom. If Elektra realizes that her own blood, her Aunt Ivy, is the reason she lost Will, Elektra might just snap too. The betrayal is coming from inside the house. And Dylan, sweet little homeless dishwasher Dylan, she is playing a very dangerous game. She thinks she can just keep quiet and get the guy. She thinks she can just ride this wave and be Will's girlfriend. But secrets always come out on this show. Always. And when Will finds out that Dylan knew that Dylan stood there and let him suffer just so she could have a chance with him, Will is going to drop her like a bad habit. Dylan is going to lose the guy, and she might lose her job too. Because Steffi is not going to tolerate a liar in her company, especially not one who is involved in breaking up her family members. Just typing this all out makes me realize how interconnected all these characters are right now. The web is so tight, one pull and the whole thing unravels. If Daphne tells Carter, Carter tells Will, Will confronts Ivy. Ivy blames Dylan. Dylan gets fired. Elektra finds out and dumps RJ. It is a domino effect of epic proportions. And I haven't even touched on Steffi and Finn coming back from their trip. Imagine they come home early. Imagine they walk into the Cliff House and find Taylor's bra on the couch. Or find Sheila lurking in the bushes. Steffi is already so stressed out with the fashion line and the Katie Logan feud. If she comes home to a crime scene or a sex scandal in her living room, Steffi is going to go scorched earth. Taylor will be packing her bags and moving to Paris by the end of the week. I just can't wait to see how this all plays out on screen. The tension, the drama, the sheer audacity of these characters. Deacon thinking he can outsmart Sheila. Ivy thinking she can play puppet master. Daphne crumbling under the weight of her guilt. Hope living in a fantasy world about her dad. It is why we watch this show. It is messy and it is human and it is just so incredibly entertaining. So yeah, that is my massive brain dump for the March 24 episode. I am literally out of breath just thinking about it. My keyboard is smoking, but I needed to get all these thoughts out to you guys because this is the kind of soap opera drama we live for. The affairs, the lies, the secret photos, the lurking in the bushes. It is classic BB. I am going to wrap this up before my fingers literally fall off my hands. But let me know what you guys think is going to happen. Is Sheila going to bust through that window? Is Will going to punch RJ in the face? Is Daphne going to crack under the pressure? I will be watching right along with you, grabbing my popcorn and yelling at my television because it is about to get so good. Let's talk about the Forrester estate for a second. The history of that mansion, the pool where RJ and Elektra are swimming. How many dramatic moments have happened at that pool? It is a legacy location. Eric Forrester built that empire, and now the next generation is splashing around in the water, completely oblivious to the corporate warfare and the familial sabotage happening around them. RJ is the prince of Forrester Creations, and Electra is the beautiful, tragic heroine right now. The water is probably perfectly heated. The lighting is pristine. It is the ultimate luxury backdrop for a manipulated romance. Ivy taking pictures from the manicured gardens. It is just a stark contrast between the beauty of the setting and the ugliness of Ivy's actions. And speaking of legacy, let's contrast that with the Cliff House. The Cliff House has always been a place of refuge, but also a place of intense trauma. Steffi bought that house to find peace, but it has been invaded so many times. Sheila literally broke into that property. Sheila shot her own son in that alleyway, and now the sanctity of that home is being violated, again, not by a gun, but by betrayal. Taylor, who knows the history of that house better than anyone, is desecrating it. She is bringing the husband of the woman who nearly murdered her daughter into her daughter's bed. The psychological layers are just staggering.